यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
ओम ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहित प्रज्ञान घन प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्माहमस्मि सोहमस्मि ब्रह्माहमस्मि। ओम प्रपन्न पारिजाताय तोत्र वेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। May the Almighty Shri Lord Venkateshwara bestow all kinds of prosperity, health, wealth and eternal happiness with Paripurna Lakshmi Katakshams to you and entire your family and friends. Let us begin Bhagavad Gita, verse number 19th of 12th chapter. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha तुल्य निंदास्तुतिर्मौनी संतुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेत स्थिरमतिः भक्तिमान मे प्रियो नरः। Bhagavan Krishna is explaining the lakshana, definition of a jnani from verse number 13. A devotee who is not engaging himself to abuse anybody. So Bhagavan is very careful when he defines as a lakshana. Tulya nindastutihi santushtaha mauni aniketaha sthiramatihi. All these words and the words from last verse. Shatraucha mitrecha samaha manapa manayoho samaha shita ushna sukha dukkhesha samaha sangha varjitaha. All samatvam were narrated by the last words. Here the same samatvam continues, but the samatvam is according to the reactions or actions of others. I think you are not understanding. So when they respond towards us, when you respond to them, so both has got a kind of source. So their response, it is dependent on their understanding about yourself. You respond according to your understanding about them. Now the both responses from them and you, when it connects, that should not create complications. So that's what Bhagavan is very careful. It is known as Vyavaharika level. Vyavahara means transaction. If you are talking about somebody or you are listening about somebody, so you should not be a judgmental one. When you are judgmental, you cannot understand what you hear. Whatever is heard, if your mind is not colored, you can hear what they speak. Usually we don't hear at all. We always put forth our prejudice, our impression, our assumption, our anumana. We look the world with our own impression or opinion. That opinion which is constructed by what? Absolutely karma phala. We have to be very careful. When you say hello, hari om, namaste, at that time itself you are invoking a conversation. I'm using the word invoking the conversation means so you are initiating a kind of construction, a kind of conversation which is going to construct both your life. Both of your life means the conversation which is taking place in between two people. So both of them are trying to construct something. That construction which may also go towards positive things or which may also go towards negative things. If your intention is good but communication is poor, then you cannot construct a proper conversation. The conversation has to be very carefully handled A jnani who is in the form of devotee, he is very careful while communicating with others because he knows the value and importance of the conversations. The conversation can be verbal conversation, physical conversation, means gross conversations, or mental, psychological transaction. We can also understand this mental transaction where the thoughts are playing a vital role. When you are not able to set yourself with the conversation, you will start abusing the construction. That abusing the things, it begins in very subtle form. So when you are talking about somebody to somebody, for example, you are talking about Ganesha to Rahul, you have to be very careful because you are talking to Rahul about Ganesh. Now you have only two options. Either you can talk about good things of Ganesh or bad thing about Ganesh. So when you are talking bad things means what? When you are commenting on his character, when you are criticizing about Ganesh, so whether it is true or not doesn't matter. You are spoiling your conversation. Shastra doesn't allow it. Whether you talk about others or you talk about the person who is in front of you, you have to be very careful. You don't have a rights to comment, criticize on any soul. Even the self-condemning is also prohibited from our Shastra. So all of these, verbal abuse or physical abuse, mental abuse, all of them are considered as adharma karya. But we are engaged, always we are indulged with that. Some people, they are very good people, but unknowingly, they are not aware, unknowingly they commit this mistake, abusing others, abusing juniors, abusing relatives, abusing youngsters, or abusing elders, criticizing about the elders. Old people are useless, they don't know anything. The old people are, they are good for nothing. They only give the suggestion, they don't know how to bring into the action. Or, commenting on the youngsters, these people are useless, दिमाग नहीं है उसको. The brainless people, just, the evening people. We should not comment on anybody. Krishna is very careful when he defines about a jnani or bhakta. The jnani or bhakta is very careful with his transaction. He won't hurt anybody. He won't also get hurt from anybody. That's what, Tulya nindaha stutihi. The Tulya means he is equal. He maintains his samatvam with both situations when he is being criticized, when he is being praised. He maintains the shantatvam, tranquility in his mind. So up to this we have seen in the last class. Now Mauni. Who is Mauni? Bhagavan Dakshinamurti is said to be a Mauna Guru. What does it mean there? Mauna Guru means who teaches everything in the language of silence. Just he looks silently to the people, then people will understand. Is it so? No. Maunam means the content which cannot be explained through the words. That's silence. When you are not able to explain about something, when that something means that entity, the truth of the creation, the substratum of the creation, or the cause of the creation is beyond the words, that creation is also known as wordless or silence or maunam. But here, Mauni means he won't abuse anybody. He won't create anybody. He is very careful with verbal transaction. He won't utter a single word which will cause for others hurt. He is very careful, and also he will use limited words. He won't use the words beyond the need. A bhakta will never engage himself with a loose talk. Loose talk means, so just talking bindaless. Whatever comes in your mind, you are just pouring towards others. At that time, you lose your patience, you lose your knowledge, you lose your condition, you will go beyond the barriers, beyond the territory of your self personality. Then you will start abusing others. His Mauni means he who is endowed with limited speech. He used Vak Shakti properly. Santushtaha. He is self-contented. Atmani eva atmana tushtaha. You might have seen, the santushtaha word comes again and again. Santushta satatan yogi yathatma dridha nishchayaha. We have seen in the 14th verse. Santushta means self-contented. Then yena kena chit aniketaha. Whatever comes, he is self-contented. He is not clutched, or he is not even broken by that. Just he keeps himself in the state of supreme level. Now you can understand about a devotee, so who is very safe with the devotion. Devotion becomes like armor. And he is not sitting inside, worrying about everything, and he is not escaping. And you should not think about a devotee who is escaping himself in the name of bhakti. No. So he is absorbed by the bhakti. Aniketaha means he is a homeless person, completely independent. He is not depending, he is not looking for the shelter from anybody. So looking for the shelter becomes a big headache. That's what all beings are looking for. So I have to get settled. What do you mean by getting settled? So kabhi nahi hota. So you cannot be ever settled. The settlement means what? So having a house for us, to have a bank balance, and having some relatives, having some position in the society. Do you consider it is called a shelter? No. The shelter is only the Padara Vinda of Bhagavan. That is the only one shelter. This person who has taken refuge in that shelter, therefore he need not to look the shelter in the worldly materials. He won't look for it. Sthiramatihi. He is very firm because of the knowledge from Shastra. Sthiramatihi means so one who has established with the self-knowledge, with the knowledge of Ishvaraha. Very rare to see like him. Whatever the decisions are made by him, so you can see the firmness in those decisions. He executes that very firmly, strongly. He is unshaken by any incident or accident. When he wants to construct the temple, he will construct the temple. When he wants to construct a college or university, he will do that. When he wants to run a puja, means organize the puja, he will organize it. So otherwise he will keep himself quiet. Whatever the thoughts are taking place in his mind, they don't have the power to shake him. He knows how to utilize them. So if dharma thought means that the thoughts which is governed by dharma, then he will allow the thought to convert in the form of action. You see all devotees, you read about the histories. They are not shaken by the power of the society. They are not shaken by any emotional imbalance. They will live according to Bhagavan's order. Sometimes people also say they look as a mad, but his pursuit never disturbed by anybody. That's what sthiramatihi. Bhaktiman naraha me priyaha. So that kind of devotee is very dear to me. That's all from verse number 13 up to the 19th verse. Bhagavan has completed the definition of Ajnani. Then the conclusion of 20th chapter, Jnana Nishtha Prapti Sadhanam. The means for the Jnana Nishtha. That's what. Let us read it. Ye tu dharmyamritamidam yathoktam paryupasate shraddha dhana matparamaha bhaktaste tiva me priyaha. Shraddha dhanaha matparamaha. The people who are endowed with lots of shraddha and who has fixed me as an ultimate goal, and who is also endowed with the way, the steps which I have introduced as Bhakti Marga, and the people who are following this Bhakti Marga with lots of Shraddha, and who is able to follow this Dharma Marga, the Marga which leads to immortality. Spiritual path is being said in the word of Dharma. Dharma means spiritual path. Amurtam means immortality. The Marga which is governed by Dharma. So now here Dharma means a path, a nishtha, a lifestyle which leads to immortality. That's what Bhakti Marga is. Now Bhakti Marga means, you should understand, it is not specifying only emotional part of a devotee. It denotes or symbolizes the all spiritual activities with paripurna knowledge, the complete knowledge about the self and Brahman and Ishvara, all together called Bhakti Marga. The person, one who is able to follow the things which I prescribed in this chapter with lots of Shraddha, and who is able to fix me as the supreme goal, that devotee is very dear to me. That's all. Conclusion had happened. Some of the words, it looks like they are repeated, but they are not repeated, because when Bhagwan repeats again the same word, like Santushtaha, so that word is being repeated twice. But according to the context, he gives the different meaning for that word. So now Bhakti Yoga completed. So let us finish, means let us complete this word with the 4 concluding lines. Ite Shrimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Sambade Bhakti Yogo Nama Dvadashodhyayaha. The chapter which is known as Bhakti Yoga, which is in the form of dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, and which is known as Yoga Shastra, and which also said Brahma Vidya, called Bhagavad Gita, is completed. Now we should have a Simhavalokana, means we have to have a recap, a kind of summary session. It's a very small chapter which contains only 20 verses. Just we'll begin and nicely we will finish it. Let us begin to digest what and all Bhagavan has revealed in the chapter 12. So the chapter began with Arjuna's question. Okay, who is the supreme, Saguna Upasaka or Nirguna Upasaka? Then the second and third verse, Bhagavan started giving the answer. In the second shloka, Bhagavan says this Saguna Upasaka is a superior, but Nirguna Upasaka attains me. So Bhagavan has given a proper answer. Then in the fourth verse, Bhagavan gave a proper definition of Nirguna Upasana. So Nirguna Upasana, which is very difficult to understand and very difficult to even follow it. Ye tvaksharamanirdeshyam abhyaktam paryupasate sarvatra gamachintyancha kotasthamchalam dhruvam sanniyemyendriya gramam sarvatra samabuddhayah te prapnuvanti mam eva sarvabhota hite rataha. This Nirguna Upasana, which is the supreme one, is very difficult for those people who is following or who is endowed with Deha Abhimana. So he defined why it is difficult, and he also gave the answer properly. The people who is endowed with Deha Abhimana. What is Deha Abhimana? Deha Abhimana means the attachment towards the body, mind and sense complex. So shall we reject them from the spiritual path? No. Bhagavan said they have to begin one step down, then he started introducing all the steps one by one. From verse number 6, Bhagavan started describing all the steps one by one. Totally, there are 5 steps. He completes by praising all the steps in the verse number 12. From 13 words onwards, Bhagavan started giving Jnani Lakshana, means Parabhakta Lakshanam, up to verse number 19. In the verse number 20, he said, so only complete Shraddha and dedication is the means, and these 5 steps are the main means for moksha. That's all. Bhakti Yoga is completed. It is very difficult for us to digest in few months. It takes long years, maybe one janma. We have to read again and again and again and again. Whatever Bhagavan has given as a 5 steps, you don't forget those 5 steps. So 3 aspects of bhakti. What are they? Karma aspects of bhakti, upasana aspects of bhakti, and knowledge oriented bhakti. The karma aspect means karma oriented bhakti is divided into 2: sakama karma, nishkama karma bhakti. Sakama karma means when you perform the action to gain the things what you want, what you long for. If you want to construct the house, you can ask from the God. You can be an utterly selfish person. It is allowed. So when you are receiving everything, then you can grow to be a Nishkama Karma Yogi Bhakta. Then you can grow to be a Ekarupa Bhakta, means Upasana Bhakta. Then you can become Anekarupa. Then finally you can understand about Arupa Ishvaraha. You can get Puranatvam, means completeness in Bhakti Sadhana. So with this chapter, the second Shatkam is completed. You know what does it mean? We have completed 2 portions of Mahavakya. Tvam Padartha Visheshaha, Tat Padartha Visheshaha. Now what else remains? Asi Padartha Visheshaha. That we will begin from the next session. By the grace of Lord Venkateshwara, we will definitely digest the meaning and the essence of Bhagavad Gita thoroughly. Let us continue from next session tomorrow. Harihi Om. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.